On this Independence Day, it seems appropriate to tell you about some things that I didn't know about the great democracy that we live in.
Well, first off, we're not a democracy. We're a democratic republic.
Democratic in that power comes from the people, and republic in that we're not ruled by a monarchy, but by officials elected by the people that are bound by a constitution.
And while our founding fathers proposed to form a government that would give more power to the people than ever before, they weren't the first ones to propose letting the masses govern themselves.
Now, Greece is largely the place that gets credit for democracy, but it'd be more accurate to say that they gave it a name.
And that name began with a man named Cleisthenes.
He broke up the old tribal factions and organized citizens into 10 new groups based not on family, but geography.
He created a council of 500 by lottery, not by election. So you could say that the city's future for a while was determined by luck of the draw.
This is Sparta!
Wait, Sparta? The place where they kicked the guy into the eternal pit of death was a democracy?
Well, kind of. Sure, Sparta is better known for its warriors, but behind the shields and body odor was a fairly balanced system. Power was divided between two kings, a council of elders, and a group of elected overseers called ephors. An assembly of Spartan citizens known as the Apella could vote on decisions put forward by the council.
But no debates, no questions, just a simple yes or no.
When the Romans expelled their last king, they declared that no man would ever again rule alone. So they built a republic from a layered system of councils, assemblies, and elected magistrates.
Citizens gathered to vote on laws, elect officials, and even to go to war.
Tribunes of the people did have the power to veto decisions from higher offices to protect the commoners from elite overreach.
It was far from equal. The votes of the wealthy carried more weight and political posturing ran rampant. So essentially nothing's changed. But it did lay the groundwork where law, not lineage, had the authority.
Believe it or not, democracy wasn't a purely Western idea. In the fertile lands of the Ganges Plain in India, the city of Vaishali was home to one of the world's earliest known republics. Power was held by a council of elected leaders who met in assembly halls. Meetings followed structured procedures, votes were taken, and decisions were made collectively. The Buddha himself, who was living nearby, spoke with admiration of their method of rule. It was discussion before action, shared authority, and decisions reached not by force, but by consensus.
Well, irony, it can be so ironic. Little did I know that Socrates, the man who's considered the father of Western philosophy, he was no fan of democracy.
Socrates believed that the decision-making should be left to those with knowledge and virtue, not the whims of the majority. In his view, democracy risked turning into mob rule.
And at least in one way, he was right. It was mob rule that led to the end of Socrates.
He was sentenced to death by a democratic jury in 399 BCE.
Over 500 Athenian citizens voted to execute Socrates for, quote, corrupting the youth and impiety, something our politicians today do before lunch.
These early democracies didn't look much alike. Some were loud and open, others were quiet and cautious. Some gave every citizen a role, some only a voice. But in each of them, there was a shared belief
that the city didn't belong to one man or one family or one class. It belonged, at least in part, to the many.
For Central Oregon Daily News, I'm Scott Elmas.